You don't want the jet. You want the jet because you think it'll make you happier.
Yeah.
Well, what makes one happy? Is it the pursuit of a goal? Is it wealth, achievement, religion? What are the things that you found make somebody happy?
Yeah. Well, we found that it wasn't those things. So it
Mhm.
wasn't wealth. It was not achievement. It wasn't fame. And we had people who had all those things in our studies. Now, that said, what we also know is that having your basic material needs met is crucial to your happiness. So
Interesting.
when they do studies of this, they've studied, well, how much does your happiness go up as you make more money?
Mhm.
And what they find is that your happiness does go up
Mhm.
until you reach about $75,000 a year annual household income.
Mhm.
And that then after that, as you make more and more money, up to 75 million,
Mhm. Yep.
a billion, your happiness doesn't go up much.
Mhm.
A little bit, not really very much.
Ultimately, the game of life. I had a situation happen. I'll share this with you. Several years ago, I've had the good fortune of building wealth in my life, and I was building this very beautiful mansion, the first one I ever built. And it was a very
Yeah.
stressful day, and I was in a bad mood, and I was angry. And I walked into what was the kitchen of this home that was being built for me, really angry with the contractor and life, and you just all about me in the moment. And
Yeah.
as I walked in, the gentlemen that were working on my kitchen, the Finnish carpenters, were all people from Mexico, men from Mexico, and they had their mariachi music playing, and they were dancing and singing and doing work that they were excellent at doing, and loving their craft and being good at it, and enjoying the
Yeah.
company and the other relationships of the other men that were working with them. And I remember watching them thinking, they're not making any money. They're sending most of this money back home to their family just to survive. Frankly, probably most of them aren't even in our country legally at the time. And I remember thinking to myself, if the game of life is happiness, they're winning and I'm losing. You don't want the jet. You want the jet because you think it'll make you happier. You don't want to be fit and super ripped and attractive. You think it'll make you happier. And so what we're really seeking, that conversation behind everything, in my opinion, is we want to be happier. And so what is that thing? You go ahead and elaborate.
Well, that thing is our relationships with other people.
Yeah.
What we found studying these thousands of lives is that the people who had the warmest connections with other people and who made that a priority in their lives, they were happiest as they went through their lives, but also they stayed healthiest and they lived longer.
Is it the amount of relationships you have or the quality of the ones that you maintain in your life?
It's not the amount. So there's no set number. What we do believe is that everybody needs at least one or two relationships where they feel like this person will be there for me if I really need them. At one point, we asked our original participants, we said, who could you call in the middle of the night if you were sick or scared? List everybody. And most of our folks could list, several people, but some of them could not list anyone.
Yeah.
And some of those people were married and they couldn't list anyone.
No
And
way. Wow.
yeah.
Wow.
So we think that everybody, whether you're shy or a party animal, you need at least one or two people who are your go-to safety net people. And the paradox is that as gross domestic product goes up, as we get wealthier as nations, happiness levels goes down. So there are cultural trends taking us away from well-being. Probably that has a lot to do with relationships, that what we know is that there are these strong cultural trends that toward investing less in other people, investing less in our communities, not joining clubs, not going to houses of worship, not volunteering in the community, not inviting people over as often, not having family dinners. I mean, all of this.
I think oftentimes in the pursuit of our achievements, some of our most important relationships are sacrificed. They're not sacrificed like they go away altogether, but the intimacy level, the depth of it is what's sacrificed. And it's the unknown. You don't know how deep a relationship or a connection could be when you've been pursuing something other than that. In other words, you say, no, I have good friendships in my life. I have some rich friendships. How much richer would they be if it was your intention that they be deeper and richer? And I'll give you an example. The last 5 or 8 years has been a dramatic acceleration in my life of external achievements. And I asked myself, preparing for this interview, if I went back 10 years, was I happier then than I am now? And you know the truth, I think I was. I think there was a measure of more bliss and joy in my life. And the reason, it was just invisible, is that I've just gotten so busy, that the depth of my relationship, I maintain them like you should. You know what I mean? Are you okay? How you check? But it was deeper 10 years ago. It was more, frankly, more time with friends, more time with my family. What I'm suggesting to you is, are you just so busy that they're not quite as deep as they could be? And you're just sort of you're in growth mode for you. You're in growth mode in your business. You're in growth mode in your wealth, maybe your body. You're growing, right? Which is what we all want to do. But are you just kind of maintaining your relationships? Are your relationships growing to the extent that the other areas of your life are? If you look at it like a category. And for me, I'm growing me. I have great relationships, but I've grown. My achievements have grown. My fitness has grown at an extent much greater than my relationships have grown. And you know what? It's not worth that. You hear that often from people that have achieved, I don't know, whatever they think they wanted to achieve.
We hear it so often. In fact, when our original participants got to be in their 80s, we asked them, as you look back on your life, what's your biggest regret? And the most common regret, way more common than any others, was, I wish I hadn't spent so much time at work, and I wish I had spent more time with the people I care about.
This should be telling you the massive priority you should be putting on your relationships. Okay, just it's got to be. And for a lot of you that are busy like me, this may seem sort of cold, but maybe you should schedule it. We schedule our business meetings, right? We schedule our workouts. We schedule these things. Show me your schedule, and I'll probably show you your life, your character, your priorities, what matters to you, and what you'll actually achieve. What is something someone can do strategically, tactically, to be better at their relationships?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So first of all, maybe just do a little bit of reflecting, like, what do I have in my relationships? What am I getting that I want? And so, we get all kinds of things. We get people who we have fun with, people who we confide in.
Yeah.
So think about, what do you have and what would you like more of? And then think to yourself, well, is there somebody I could cultivate that with who I already know? Or are there ways I might be able to find new people who I could do more of that with? And so that's the first step.
Right.
What do I have and what would I like more of? And then this does not have to be some heavy lifting thing. Like, you can do tiny actions that will start building those social fitness muscles.
Yeah.
So if you think about it, when you're done listening to this show, okay, think about somebody you miss, somebody you haven't seen in a while and you'd like to be in contact with. Take out your phone, send them a text, send them an email saying, I was just thinking of you and wanted to say hi. Yeah. That's all you have to say. See what you get back. And granted, you won't get back something positive every time, but way more often than not, you're going to get good stuff back.
Yeah.